Week 2 of some kind of salmonella nellary thing. There's a video I'll post at the same time. I haven't had time to post it. Before this, about the ice cream, the bad ice cream. Never thought ice cream could be bad. Yeah, I'm getting my intuition is saying don't post right now and don't share right now. But I'm gonna do it anyway. I'm probably get into more trouble. So a few things. Some people have been reaching out to me, or the ones that believe me. There's been a clearing out of bullshit, which was incredibly painful and really, really good, to just, stop pretending and stop the niceties and really figure out who the people are who I want to share precious time with, because time has become my most valuable commodity now. It has been for some time, for a while. I realized this morning I haven't asked for anything for a long time. I got very, very spiritual in a 12-step program, and my daily kind of meditation would be to hand, they want you to hand your will over to stop trying controlling things, which is a great tool. And mine was also I stopped asking for things, because I realized that people, including myself, are inherently flawed, and that often we perhaps ask for things that aren't what is best for us. Yeah, so I no longer trusted my own instincts at that stage at all. This is due to ongoing abuse and trauma. And it is what it is. Some people believe me that know me and that have seen the before and after. Some people have seen the before and after and still choose not to believe it, because and there's no judgment here. They don't want to get involved because it's messy and it's ugly. And like I said, there's no judgment. I was at a park one day, and I saw a couple with a little girl, and we began to talk somehow. And the guy was not the father, pushed the child towards me for a hug. And she started to tremble. Her whole body started to tremble, and she started to sob, and he still pushed her. And I was saying, no, she doesn't have to. And that's an abused child, clearly. It takes one to know one. I can spot a survivor now in about maybe maximum 20 minutes of speaking to someone, because we all very similar in certain ways. And it happens a lot. It's not a rare or uncommon occurrence, unfortunately. And anyway, with the little girl, I still didn't feel like I could help or take any action. I didn't feel like it was my business. I doubted, one doubts oneself. Are you sure? Because it's quite a hardcore thing to step up and say stop to an abuser, unless you're sure. And there's something else. There's something else that happens in these situations that I'm still pondering over, some days resentfully and angrily, and some days with some kind of compassion and concern at how fucked up society is in general at this point, that people, including myself, at times are able to avert their eyes and simply ignore the truth when people are getting hurt. So it's a conundrum, and it's not a healthy society that we're living in, or one that I want to particularly be a part of. But my dad taught us to fight the good fight, and so I will continue to do so. So there's no judgment, although there is hurt. that this is the truth, this is what's happening. I'm in the system now dealing with it, and the truth will come out. The person's not acting like a complete victim, which I find quite funny. Saying, it's like you're out to destroy me. No, I'm not. I'm holding you accountable for every single law that you have broken for the last 5 or 6 years, and in doing so have held me hostage and hurt me and hurt my child. It's the law. It's actually not me. You're breaking the law. But I've never had the self-belief or the courage to do it, because I knew that this is what would happen. I would be judged. And I posted, I'm going to put those videos back up, because there was a cry for help when this person pulled, like, it's an unbelievable move, and it's all bullshit. It was a tactical move that was hardcore. That I think that's what really made it clear to me that this is a serious situation. Afterwards, what happened was it drove me into like yet another. I think it's the third breakdown I've had since I met this person. But this time I got into a decent treatment center, and they explained what was happening quite clearly, and armed me. And I think just the validation of going, yeah, no, we can see what's going on. This is how it works. Was amazing, because even my own family don't believe me, and if they do, they don't want to get involved. It's a really, really shitty situation, and going through it personally, I know why I never spoke out before, and I also know why so many other people, and I'm not just going to say a woman here, never get out and don't do this, because it's a really, really hardcore process to go through. And then in the system as well, it doesn't protect, and unfortunately it's overwhelmed. There's been no collateral investigation at all by any of the parties. They have believed a convincing liar and not bothered to do any collateral investigation. My point is that there are two stories, there are two opposing sides here, but nobody's bothered to investigate either story. They simply choose to believe someone that seems more convincing, which is very concerning, because as a woman in this system, I am not being heard. I think it's a very chauvinistic, sexist, and strangely enough, they've all been women, but they get schmoozed. It's crazy. And yet my child keeps getting put in the firing line and keeps getting questioned before the collateral investigation has been done. So there's a story here. I have reached out to a couple of journalists, because there's one developing, because I'm watching how it works now and how it unfolds. And this is not the way it's supposed to work. It's supposed to protect the child, not draw the child in. And there's plenty of evidence to show what has happened here that nobody's bothered to investigate. It's shocking. So I'm strong and I'm determined, and now I'm pissed off. This person's mistake. You know, I never fought back for a long time. It's been going on for 10 years. There was a nervous breakdown in the marriage. I asked for help with a trained therapist in the room, and he and her both managed to convince me that a 12-step program was not for me at that time. And then a while later, I had another night in the lounge sobbing, saying, I need help. I think I'm an alcoholic. And this person denied me treatment or assistance. So this happened. This is true, all of it. Anyway, eventually I got out. I got sober. I left, but I never really got away, as it turned out, because it wasn't the addiction that developed severely in the relationship. It was the codependence, the reason that I picked these fuckers. That is my real problem, and that's what came out in treatment. I'm severe. I got the highest score in the class. It's not something I'm proud of getting the highest score of, but at the same time, it was a massive relief, as is every step of recovery when you find out more about the whys. It's always really painful, but then there's immense relief that, okay, I now know that that's something I need to address so that I don't make those choices again. So it was very enlightening. But as a codependent, I would take a hit because my big thing is helping and rescuing. This is why I've stepped back from the perfect campaign at this point, and I'm doing it in fits and starts because I need to know now how much of it is the ability and the desire to be of service for the right reasons, and not because I am not wanting to deal with my stuff, because that's what we do. And it's debilitating. It's really, really, it's worse than addiction, actually. The fallout of yeah, is worse than addiction for me. It's disastrous, devastation. So yeah, so I'm currently addressing that, or trying to, and I've met someone that I think can really help with that, accidentally trying to help somebody else as it works. So, and this is why I share as well. Yeah, it's so that other people, anyway, I'll leave that for now. People have been concerned about me sharing so openly on social media. I speak my truth. I have nothing to hide. I am not worried about legal reprise at all because every single word is true. All the posts are still there. I've split them between the Perfect Campaign website, which is more teen orientated, and I've split them between the Motivational website, which is my personal journey and a bit more hardcore. Because I was oversharing and I was sharing too much hectic stuff. It shouldn't be, teens shouldn't be seeing that kind of thing. So I've got all the posts, I've got all the videos. I'm going to put them together in a story at the end to show how this all played out for other people's recovery, hopefully, to see what to do and what not to do, what might help them, and what will definitely be a complete waste of time and energy. So that's all still there. I'm not hiding anything. And also, having said that, I've shut down my social media feeds. So if you are seeing the honest status updates, it's because you are one of my people, because you have been real and honest and stepped up. So not everybody's seeing those anymore. Most people are just seeing a public profile feed. So don't worry about me. I'm okay, Jack. And besides which, I have nothing to hide. This is all true. So, and I'm not ashamed anymore, more importantly. When I reached out for help before I went into treatment, I was bottoming out like badly. I was frantic. I was like desperate. And a family member actually came to me and said to me, you're so embarrassing. And it's the shame that keeps one trapped. It stops us speaking our truth and stops us getting help. It was by sharing honestly and humiliating myself and embarrassing myself that things were pushed to the point that they were, and the truth came out, and it's going to be good. It's past fucking due, because another 10 years of what I've just experienced will kill me. I will not do it. I cannot do it, and neither can my child. So I'm okay. I'm good, actually. I'm strong. I've been very, very physically ill. I got the salmonella thing. But that was a good thing too, because I was trying to beat the sugar. The next step of the Perfect Campaign program was to get off the sugar. And it's an addiction for me, I think for a lot of people. It's a highly addictive substance. It's very difficult to break. And this sorted it out. 2 weeks. So thank you to the gods, or the universe, or us, or we, or it, or he, or she, or whatever it is up there, because I got exactly what I asked for. Be careful what you wish for, because you always get it, which is why I stopped asking for things. And when I did my morning meditation, and instead I asked for the will, or whatever was best for me and for everybody else. But this morning I did ask for something, and I realized my needs are very, very simple nowadays. I'm going towards a place where I want peace. I want health, mental, physical, and spiritual, and I want purpose. So I'm going to carry on doing this because this is my purpose. It has been for some time. It's not actually about me, even though it is, because that's how recovery works. Yeah, and that's it for now. I forgot all my sign language, and Matthew's had a family thing to deal with this weekend. So I'll practice some of that now. It's Deaf Awareness Month, just so you know. And other than that, yeah, keep it real, because life's too short for bullshit. Stand in your truth. Don't be afraid. The right people will be there and stick there and come appear. And the ones that are, you know, dancing buddies or whatever they are, will still be there. It's okay. Once you get through the detox, the social detox, stuff gets real. It's a really, really good place to be. I'm very hopeful that I'm going to find my peace and health and purpose. Yeah. Take care. Yeah, sorry, there's more. There's always more. The story with a little girl. So what happened was I was with my partner, and I was most cut up about it and concerned. That's the codependency. I brought it home with me. I sat, I stressed, I worried. And he was trying to talk me out of it, that it didn't happen, that I had imagined it, that I was overreacting. And so a friend was there, another survivor, strangely enough. Also came out of an abusive marriage. This guy was a piece of work. Wow. And we were friends, sort of early recovery, talking each other through it, supporting each other at times. So I called her because she was there. And I didn't even say much. I just said, that little girl. And she immediately said, she's being sexually abused. And I was like, yeah, I thought so too. So those instincts and the damage that this type of abuse wreaks on a person and yeah, their mental health. It is incredibly destructive. It is covered. And that's what makes it so difficult to extricate oneself from, because these people they don't do it to everybody. It's a relationship that it works both ways, right? So the codependent is attracted to the person with strong narcissistic traits on a scale of he's got a big ego, or she, to they are a narcissist, to they are a sociopath, because the codependent doesn't want to deal with their own feelings and their own stuff, so they rescue and make it about everybody else. And the egotistical narcissist sociopath has no empathy, so it's all about them. So it fits together perfectly. It's the final piece in my puzzle of why I chose these personalities over and over again. And it's actually why I initially went to get sober. It wasn't only the fact that I was struggling with the alcohol. It was the fact that I had left a beautiful, loving man in a relationship where I was healthy and thriving, and I had clicked with this person within a month or two, was like getting married, and there's a picture of me on the wedding day, sitting, looking terrified, like my instinct was screaming, and I still did it, and I burnt my fucking life to the ground again. Relationships, more destructive than drugs and alcohol. Unbelievable. So yeah, it's the final piece of the puzzle. I was at the park again last weekend with my boy, same park, and this child was there, and the mom was single, and the mom was clearly sober. My boy home. The mom was clearly sober, looking healthy, and the little girl was looking happy. So, yeah. Anyway, that is the end of the story. I'm going to go in there now and see my boy. The truth will set you free. Okay, wait. There's more. Handheld camera, so I hope it is not too disturbing. I'll try and hold it still. Okay, so the question is, why? Because I've been watching this whole thing about violence against women, rape and the beatings. Why is physical violence so abhorred and okay to share about, but domestic violence not? So if it's completely random, it's okay to share about. But if it's somebody that you know, it's embarrassing. So it's almost like you should be ashamed of it, which is somehow saying that it's the victim's fault, isn't it? I mean, it must be. Anyway, I'm fascinated because I'm living this. I'm actually living it. So I'm being judged and I'm being disbelieved. And by people close to me, hey? I mean, actual like family members that just don't want to deal. They know. One was in the house, so she knows. So it's a very interesting dynamic. I'm going to do, well, I don't know. If I find peace, maybe I'll just help other people. But it's something that needs to be addressed and considered. Why someone that's being hurt should be too ashamed to speak up and ask for help. And I think this is why a lot of people never get out. It's because of the shame. Somehow thinking that they are responsible. That's what kept me there for a long time, because I'm codependent, so I'm overly responsible. That's how this stuff works. That's why they pick you. And then when society jumps on board and says, shh, that's your dirty laundry, don't share that, they further isolate the victim. It's hardcore. This stuff is hardcore. And now in the system of, there's the evidence, but we don't want to investigate it. Because you look okay. You're okay. No, I'm not okay. Actually, I'm being hurt consistently just because. So no, this is not okay on any level. And I'm strong. If you're not a strong, resourceful, determined, educated, I was lucky enough to get a decent education person, there is very little chance of you getting out of a situation like this with the system that's in place currently as things stand. Highly unlikely. That is horrific. Anyway, yeah, on we go. Okay, final word, I promise. Because this was the journey initially, was to deal with the trauma. Little did I know what was going to transpire. But this is me, medication free. Been a while now, mostly because I couldn't afford them. So I had to fly solo. But I have to say honestly that having dealt with reality and had that final veil of denial lifted in treatment, and then stepping up and taking my power back, there is no more anxiety and no more depression. There's been a bit of despair every now and then, a lot of lonely moments. It's a brutal process, what I'm going through. And there has been a bit of anxiety returns when I'm in the same vicinity as this person. But that is a physical response that's like now programmed in, fight or flight. So it's manageable. I know what it is. So it's not scary anymore. Anyway, so made free is possible. But this is all trauma and abuse based and related. I'm sorry, I'm heading towards being one of those weird, like left of center I've always been anti-big pharma. It's a racket. In my opinion, they get you hooked. The stuff they use is highly addictive. And they're just they're putting band-aids on, really. They're not getting to the underlying issues at all. Hence no healing. Hence you're on meds forever. So this is me made free, coping in a hardcore situation. Go figure.